It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for Power Bombed in the Pit. We're two tag team partners who love loud music, comedy, art, but most of all, we love the people who do all those things and love pro wrestling.
Joining us today, Jesse Matthewson. He's a guitarist and vocalist for the noise rock band Ken Mode. He's a professional ass kicker, a professional accountant, and a professional good dude. So thank you so very much, Jesse, for taking the time out today. You've been creating music for quite some time now. Has your influences kind of and maybe even your muses changed over time? And if so, in what particular way are those influences coming about now, currently?
Uh, I mean, I think the influences, although there's obviously like bands that influence you when you're like a teenager that kind of become a part of who you are.
Yeah.
So those are always there, but I do feel like as we put out material over the years, like there are new bands that kind of come into your orbit that
Yeah.
some stick, some don't. And if you're consuming anything and a music fan the way I know we all are,
Yeah.
things are going to be rocking your world, hopefully, and
Yes.
that will rub off. Um, I mean, case in point, like a good example right now, a band that like I was always familiar with. Like I've been
Mhm.
listening to them since I was in my early 20s, but like for some reason the last 5 years, the Swans are just like
Ooh.
they're what's going on. And
Yeah.
it's sad that the way Michael Giroux felt in the early 80s is still the way everything's going now in 2025, but
Right?
it feels more real and raw than ever before, which is terrifying. And I've been listening to way too much of it, and I'm probably not mentally very well because of it. They're pretty I mean, it's current, like they're on tour right now in the US
Yeah.
and just put out a new record. And like the fact that he's 71, he's like my archetype for how to age gracefully and continue to
Fuck
make
yeah.
art that matters. Like
Yeah.
it's got to change, and I hope I can tap into something, even a hint of that as I get older. Like it's so cool that he's that old doing something that still feels vital, and it's not just rehashing what he did when he was 30.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's interesting that you bring that up because we saw the Jesus Lizard what a couple months ago or
Yeah.
something like that. And I kind of had that thought of holy shit, like here is a
David
dude.
Yow's over here just fucking rocking out like
Yeah, like he's given it his all, and I'm just like, shit, I would like that particular
Grandpa
energy.
Joe.
Yeah. I mean, part of them doing that, it's cool that they came back and did a record that didn't suck. Like
Right?
I didn't have expectations for it because, like, granted, they've all been playing, but like, I don't know. The last record they went out on, Blue, wasn't a great one. And
Mm,
I think this new
yeah,
one, you could say it's
Okay.
better than Blue was, which is pretty impressive.
Oh
Granted, they're not
yeah.
exactly reinventing the wheel or anything.
in terms of influences, do you have any writing influences?
Honestly, I don't know if I really have influences
Mm,
for that. I'm trying to, as effectively as possible, convey what's going on in my head while keeping
yeah,
it somewhat artful. Again, like my musical influences end up like
kind of being
shitting
the
all
same.
over that anyway. Like it's inescapable.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but honestly, I only just started like reading books again for the first time, like effectively since I was
Yeah.
in university. I kind of burnt myself out in my early 20s and got into this cycle of every time I tried to start reading, I would fall asleep within a few pages. And I've read two books this year
Fuck.
without falling asleep. Two.
Hell yeah. What were they?
They're all music books.
That's
I read
fine.
the,
That's
what is it? Is it Corporate Rock Still Sucks?
Sucks, yeah.
Story of SST. And I just finished the Swans, what is it? Something to Transcendence. Shit, I already forgot the name of it. Yeah, and
Uh,
now I'm starting Your Band Sucks, which actually I think is in my bag here.
So,
hold
how
on.
did you get into wrestling?
While you're looking for that.
Wrestling.
So, yeah.
Wrestling. God, I had to have been when I was like probably 4 or 5. I honestly don't know how. It was probably just on TV. My dad probably turned it on. I can't honestly say. My earliest memories of getting into it was WrestleMania 4. I remember Macho Man winning that tournament and that being huge, and he was my favorite wrestler. And
Oh
then
yeah.
also my brother and I loved Demolition. And we'd wear like
Ooh.
toques on our faces and we'd beat the shit out of that monster.
Hell yeah. Did you guys like try any moves that you saw like on each other?
Not really when we were young. It was always us beating up my pet monster. We were always a tag team.
Dude, that's so awesome. Yes. Ooh,
I,
ooh.
it's kind of too bad that back in the day, although they would come to Winnipeg, I don't remember AWA being on television, at least when we could watch it, because it would like the Road Warriors would have been our jam, like 100%. Instead, we got Vince's version, which I mean, Demolition was awesome in their own right, but like it would have been cool to have the Road Warriors when we were like little kids. I've got a bud of ours from Wisconsin gave me this while we were on tour. I've got the Mountie sitting on
Oh,
my
dude,
desk
I was
at
just
all
telling
times.
her about the Mounties.
That's fucking dope.
So he helps me work
Oh,
every day. Good old Jacques Rougeau.
yes. Aw.
Exactly. Well, I mean, so I am less familiar with Canadian wrestling, in terms of Canada, is wrestling like really prevalent? I'm assuming it's not as big as hockey, and again, that's just coming from a very stereotypical thinking. Is it very prevalent like up there?
Well, I mean, it being not a real sport, it's tough. It's tough to kind of compare, but like there is
Yeah.
definitely a wrestling culture up here, and I mean, it's interwoven into the fabric of American wrestling. Like back in the days, like I don't remember all the promotions out of Quebec, but I know there were a couple really big ones, and obviously Stampede Wrestling out in Alberta with Stu Hart and all the plethora of talent that came from, especially there. But even in Quebec, there was the Rougeaus, there was Dino Bravo. Who else was out there? It's actually Andre the Giant they got from them.
Oh
Yeah.
Um,
wow.
because he
Okay.
would obviously do some tours in the US, but he didn't become like a part of WWF until they started sniping things from Quebec. Because obviously, him being from France, he would go to Quebec all the time to wrestle.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Um, but yeah, even like the smaller prairie provinces, we have like a pretty deep history. Like Roddy Piper, I think he was born in Saskatoon, but he was raised in Winnipeg. Chris
Oh,
Jericho was raised in Winnipeg. Kenny Omega was born and
oh
raised in
yeah.
Winnipeg. Like
We
we've got
love
a
Kenny.
rich, we've got a pretty rich history of pro wrestling in
Yeah.
Canada, which is I don't know. I can't really attest to like the overall mainstream appeal, but I
Mhm.
know, especially in like counterculture, like wrestling's cool everywhere right now, right?
Yeah. What would be the kind of, I guess, maybe like craziest or yeah, maybe we'll just go craziest thing that you have seen at a wrestling match,
Hmm.
whether
I
in person
honestly,
or on TV. It's a deep question.
oh God, on TV. I mean, there's some of the I've seen so much of those crazy death matches and like there's a lot of stuff I'm not interested in seeing, like the
Yeah, yeah,
hyper violent stuff. Like that doesn't do it for me. But
yeah,
I haven't been to enough live pro wrestling, honestly. As like an adult,
yeah.
I don't think I've shy of like stuff that happens in bars I've been to once or twice.
Like Danhausen.
Yeah, the vibe was just a little weird for me. It felt too Island
Yeah.
of Misfit Toys, which it isn't fair, but like I don't know, I got a
Yeah.
little bit of an ick factor when I went to some of those, but like I'll always cherish the memories of going to WWF when I was a little kid with my dad and my brothers. Like that was really cool. We got to see like the Ultimate Warrior face off with Sergeant Slaughter in Winnipeg and what was the other one? I know we saw Macho King against someone in Winnipeg way back in the day. Those were pretty sweet.
Well, what like as a kid, what was the coolest part of wrestling like for you? Like, obviously it's around you and you're drawn to it, but what for you like just kind of made you cling to it as a kid?
It's probably that they were kind of like real life superheroes. They were larger than
Oh
life.
yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
the pageantry of the 80s was so over the top. It was
Yeah.
just so cool. And even like the music, like there's no denying anyone who was around back then, like Demolition's theme music, Ultimate Warrior, like that
Mm.
crazy, like kind of rocking. It's funny to listen to it now, but like Jake the Snake, like I swear Boy Harsher stole Jake the Snake's entrance music.
Dude, that's so awesome. We both love Boy Archer, so
There's
Mhm.
one track, I can't remember if it's off the what is it, Country Girl or one of the songs off that one EP sounds like Jake the Snake's entrance music. Like it starts that way. Is it Country Girl Uncut? Maybe.
yeah, I think it's a Country Girl Uncut. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like check it out and see if you agree. I swear, like the way it starts is like Jake the Snake, yes. Anyway,
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Oh, dude. So we interviewed Stavros from the Alice Moth right before we interviewed you. So this is definitely gonna be fun as hell.
yeah,
Um,
naturally.
Yeah. The-
Absolutely.
you two guys are like the first two guys that like I got into wrestling with.
Sick. Have you seen speaking of like kind of the art nerds into wrestling, have you seen that interview what's his name? Chris Van something. He's like one
Chris
of the
Van
major
Cleef.
wrestling. Yeah,
Yeah, Chris
the one
Van
he just
Cleef.
did with Dan Soder.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
God.
dude. We
Dan Soder is fucking rad.
I saw they posted just I think a day or two ago the clip
yeah.
of him doing that thing on Hawks promo that they cut
Oh,
on
dude, he's so
SummerSlam.
good, so
The fact that
good.
he knew it by heart, so good.
Speaking of kind of feel good moments, because I think that that was a feel good moment. You have toured with so many bands, and right now I think a feel good story would be awesome. But going on tour, going through different towns, meeting people, and just being exhausted too. Do you have, any like really amazing feel good experiences or moments as not only just a band member and somebody who's up there to perform, but as a human being too, like when you've been either in the crowd or watching other bands?
Feel good moment.
Man, I'm asking all the hard questions today.
Anytime you discover a new band that you'd never heard of and they absolutely crush live.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to think of any times I've actually had that. Actually, here's a feel good moment, and it's kind of almost mildly somber given the timing of it because of Brent Hines's passing, but
Mm,
seeing Mastodon for the first time, it was their first tour they ever did. No one knew who they were, other than a few nerds who knew the bands that they were in prior to Mastodon. We knew what was coming simply because we'd followed Bill and Braun through Today Is the Day. And we
hey,
we, pla
oh,
we played that show at a really it was like in a school gymnasium in Winnipeg, and just it was one of those moments when they started their set and everyone like kind of went like holy shit, and everyone's looking at each other like what the fuck are we seeing? And it was just Yeah, it was definitely like a holy shit moment, like in pro wrestling where the whole crowd starts chanting. But
Yeah, yeah,
you
Yes,
knew
yes,
something
yes,
was going to
yes.
happen.
yeah.
Um, I mean, no one thought they'd become what they'd become. Granted, that was back when they weren't even trying to sing. They had Eric Singer on vocals, doing like death metal vocals over top of that stuff. But I still like the 9 song demo the most out of everything they did. So
The
that was
Reptilian
my
record.
moment. Oddly enough, he was one of the only ones. I think it was him and Eric were the only ones I didn't talk to at all when they played here 100 years ago. I mean, I won't pretend like my little crew of nerds weren't primarily interested in talking to Bill and Braun anyway, because of the lethargy and today's the day connection. But
How can you not
anyway,
love that shit?
yeah, yeah.
Have you had any other like moments on tour that maybe like kind of took you aback in terms of hearing a band?
In terms of bands who are actually even better live than on disc, how about I roll with that? Bands
I'm
like
down with
Oh,
Torch, one of those,
Steve
Birds in
Brooks,
Row,
dude, love that guy so much.
yeah, Birds in Row from France are an incredible live
Oh,
band.
oh, yeah. I
Um,
saw them when I lived in Austin, and they're fucking amazing.
I mean, everyone's good, but th those are two that really stuck out to me.
that.
That like you almost can't listen to the records after because they aren't what they were live.
Yeah,
They're good records, but it's just live they were that
so
good,
much more amazing.
which is tough. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be my answer. Sure, let's roll with that.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
hell yeah. Well, with Ken Mode, like what's been the coolest place that you have been able to go and perform?
One of the coolest, most noteworthy ones lately, was playing Roadburn in 2023. We'd played it in 2015 already, but we were kind of in a smaller room, and that whole day was a little bit soiled with like we were late because of we had to drive. I think it was like a 10 or 12 hour drive to
Oh,
get
Oh,
there. And it was
fuck.
just
gross.
total, yeah, total clusterfuck. So this last time we flew in just for the fest and we hung out a couple extra days, so we kind of got the most of it. And we played to probably like, I don't know, 2,000, 2,500 people or something
Oh,
like that. So it was
wow.
like a big packed room and it
Yeah.
was just really cool. So that's got to be up there for me.
Gotcha.
Fucking awesome, man. Like, that's so rad.
Bands
Uh,
like us don't deserve to play to that many people.
I
Oh.
totally do. So how like having the band with saxophone player?
It's been
Element.
cool. It's been cool. Now, it's almost awkward trying to write now because I'm making an effort to utilize her. When we came up with all the material for the last 2 records, I was just writing songs. Like I wasn't necessarily thinking of how it would all play out live. We had to figure that out after the fact. But now I kind of I'm trying to not box myself in too much by going, well, we have to be able to play this live. We need to utilize everyone. It has to work. It has to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't pretend like I'm not putting like undue stress on myself for absolutely no reason. But
I can't imagine you putting undue stress on yourself, Jesse.
yeah, a band that is marginally known for having no chill, no way.
No, definitely not.
This is a no chill zone. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm desperately trying to chill, by the way. That's I've been dealing with a lot of chronic pain over the last couple of years, and it's
Oh
become
shit.
Oh, from
really evident that a lot of it is
MMA or
a
just
little, and even just what we do on stage, like I'm too tense and it's caused some problems, and I'm trying to unweave as to why I'm having these problems because I'm not that old. I mean, I'm turning 44, which yeah, it's not a kid, but it's not like
we're in the same wheelhouse. My
yeah,
God.
Y'all ain't decrepit yet. Don't get
no.
there yet.
And like we're fit, so like I shouldn't be in pain. So I'm trying to untangle everything that's going on. I probably can't headbang anymore because I think I've actually hurt my neck.
Oh
Oh,
fuck.
fuck, dude. That
But that's
sucks.
fine. I'll figure it out. I'll do something else
Right.
crazy.
You'll figure out a new way. So, Chris just mentioned MMA. What got you into MMA?
I think it was a natural extension from pro wrestling, if we're being honest. And I
Okay.
mean, the early days of MMA, like Ken Shamrock was jumping back from company to company.
Shit.
Um, Dan Severn did pro wrestling. Pride FC was started by pro wrestlers in
Yeah.
Japan. So they've
Mhm.
always kind of been coupled together. Um, but it was also like the UFC explosion in the early 2000s. Like I'd watched the UFC when I was in like junior high, back when it was like the tape trading and all that shit. But like
Ah,
I really got into it in my early 20s. But it was Pride that made me really get into it. It was just
Oh yeah.
so much cooler than what was going on over here with the UFC. And then I just started training Muay Thai. And I've been doing that for, God, 18 years now.
oh
Damn.
wow.
That, you know Champ Morgan,
Yeah,
right?
he's a
Yeah.
bud.
That dude, fucking crazy ass gnome.
Yeah, he's the best kind of maniac.
He's definitely 100% a maniac.
You since you said that you've been doing you said Muay Thai, right, for 18 years. Have you
Yeah,
ventured into any other forms of either, martial arts or anything like that, or have you just kind of stuck to this because this is your bread and butter?
I had been doing some wrestling and jujitsu for a couple of years.
Hmm.
I had to stop that. I actually, in 2013, I sprained my hand like
Oh
right
fuck.
before we
Yeah,
went on
it's-
tour, which
Fuck.
sucked. So I toured for like 3 months with a fucked up hand.
Holy
Um,
sh.
so like every time I'd like pull the cord, it would send a shot of pain all the way up to my neck. So that wasn't very cool. And
Oh
then
my
in
God.
2015, we were doing like rolling warm-ups, and
Mm.
I guess something with my inner ear is now just off. So we were doing like somersaults, and all of a sudden I got kind of like dizzy, and it didn't chill out until like later that night. So I was like, I don't think I need to do this anymore.
Yeah, oh shit.
That's not
That is definitely not
good.
good. That's kind of scary that your equilibrium being off and everything like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you did mention that, you will have to kind of figure out something different in terms of being on stage, how do you have to consciously adjust for that, or when you're live in the moment on stage, does your body just kind of adjust, like out of curiosity?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I know last tour cycle I had said to myself I gotta stop whipping my neck around. And then
Yeah.
I just started doing it. Like it's been something I've been doing for over 25 years. Like it's not that easy to stop. So
No.
I'm gonna have to consciously make an effort to do things differently. We'll see how it goes. Like I can't afford to be in pain because of this thing.
Yeah,
So
no.
I need to
No.
also try to make this fun again, which is something I'm really wrapping my head around because I don't know, not to keep going back to Swans, but reading the way he changed the way he approached the band, like they never play the songs live the way they are on record, and the songs are always changing. And there's an element of that improvisational approach that I'd like to figure out how we can incorporate some degree of that to this band because I think that might solve some of my boredom with what we've been doing. Because I found this in the past too, but it took years of touring the same songs before I started to feel like it was like I was going through the motions. But like I know, especially like I guess I started feeling that in 2013. At a certain point, you play the songs enough, like, all right, well, this is the song, and in this part of the song, you do this little move because it just becomes a thing because people react to
Yeah.
it. And this
Yeah.
is the way you do this vocalization in this part. And it becomes it doesn't feel real to me anymore. I feel like I'm playing airband, and that spoils it for me. And I know it's not just about me, but I have to be having fun doing this. Otherwise, why am I doing this? It's not like we're making a living doing this. We're not Slayer. Nobody really cares. People are here to feel it, and they won't like it as much if you hate it. So
Yeah.
fix it.
Yeah. Do you think part of that is adding to that kind of tenseness that you mentioned a moment ago in terms of, being up on stage?
Yeah, it for sure is. And that's always been a part of our stage show too. It's just the tension. Everything about this band is tension. And
Dude, it's like you and Chris Spencer are just the most tense motherfuckers ever. Like,
yeah, and I gotta find a way for that not to be what drives it.
Yeah.
Because I think long term it just won't work the way I think it will.
Yeah. Do you guys start with just jamming and then here's some music and then you write the lyrics? Or are you more of a, hey, here's the lyrics, here is something that I want to do, here you guys go? Or is it a kind of a mix of both?
It's changed over the years. We used
Hmm.
to jam as a band. Since Scott joined, he doesn't live here, so it's been more complicated.
Hmm.
Um, and since the pandemic, I started writing on a computer.
Ah.
So now I largely come up with ideas on my own, start to
Hmm.
flesh the ideas out a bit. Where did I freeze out?
You had just said that the way that you write is mainly on the computer now. It's changed over time.
Okay. Um, in terms of like the vocals, those always come last. So
Okay.
Um, I'll just write in my little black book here
Hell yeah.
ah,
and slowly piece things together from there. But yeah, it's still the almighty riff is the foundation of it all.
Okay. That's rad. Do you tend to have to like kind of sit down and focus on writing, or does it just randomly come at you and you have to be like, okay, I need to kind of jot this down. I need to put this down before I forget it. Or how does that kind of come to you?
I need to separate specific time to play guitar to try and freeform
Gotcha. Yeah.
and come up with things. I'm not the type who like sings riffs to themselves. Sometimes like when I go on hikes,
Yeah.
I will be able to cycle through songs that we've already got and I'll come up with arrangement ideas or supplemental instrumentation. Like I was on a hike this last weekend and I started thinking, well, I think we could fit a synth part over that one riff, and I'm just playing it over and over again in my head, saying
Yeah.
nothing, and my partner's kind of, "You okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm writing songs in my head right now. It's okay." And I'm repeating the same sentence over and over and over again. Nothing
Yeah,
to see here.
yeah, that's super fascinating. I think the brain itself is fascinating, and how I think and how I organize
how
is
I
greatly
think.
different. And so I tend to get curious, especially when we talk to people who've been doing music for a long ass fucking time. So yeah,
Yeah, and I mean,
um,
back in the day, so much of what we used to do is literally just jamming in the
yeah,
space, and I kind of miss that because it's been a long time since I've come up with anything that felt unique that way.
yeah. Okay,
Oh,
that's
dude,
that's fair.
everything you do is unique. So there's
Well,
that.
a
I
part of that
think,
is,
for my
and
personal opinion.
I think with the way as we've been getting older, that's part of why I've leaned more on writing alone, because
Hmm.
then I can actually manage when it feels unique to me. And
Yeah.
when it's everyone reacting to each other, I feel like people have a tendency to lean on what's easy, and what's good and unique is rarely easy when you're a band that's been around for 25 years. And I mean, I have no interest in playing something that sounds like something we did 10 years ago. I'd
Yeah.
rather quit and never do this again. So,
Yeah. Because that takes out the fun part that you were talking about earlier. It needs to be fun, and if it's not fun, why are you doing it? So if you're sounding the same, why are you doing
yeah.
it?
And I
But
mean, plenty of people have fun playing stuff that sounds the same forever, and that's cool. Good for them. That's not what I'm in for, though.
So, top five favorite bands, top five favorite wrestlers.
Okay, top five bands. This is not fair. but
I know it's not fair. That's why I'm asking you this.
um, I mean, okay. In terms of longevity and effect on me, I like the Melvins will always be my favorite band. So that's one. Let's pick Today's the Day, the Willpower era, number
Ooh.
two.
R.I.P. Michael.
Narrowing it down to five is kind of tough. I'm gonna say Swans just because of what I've been doing with them lately.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
Um,
You could do top 10 if you want
Yeah.
to. It doesn't have to be in any sort of particular order.
just keep going and going and
Just keep
going.
going.
Yeah.
We'll just stay
Come
here
on.
when it's cool.
Let's add
Jericho's
some
gold list.
let's add some recent stuff. Plebeian Grandstand. Um,
I love that band. They're so good.
they're so sick. Um, Fuck it, go back old. Zeni Giva, Desire for Agony. I got the
Such good
five.
album. Such good album.
Um, Wrestlers, Macho Man Randy Savage,
Hell yeah.
Bret the Hitman Hart. I mean, when I was a kid, the Ultimate Warrior was the fucking best. Even though he's barely a wrestler, but like,
You know what?
Dude, we
You have a
talk so much
big.
shit about him. Like, it's like, no, that guy's not really a wrestler.
but he had like one of the greatest images of all time. So
True,
I
true,
have to give
true.
him props for the history there. Can I include tag teams? Because I'd have to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
That'll be a cheat move then, because Demolition and the Road Warriors, boom, five.
Who would you like to have seen in a match together, living or dead wrestlers are in play?
That hasn't actually happened.
That hasn't actually happened, or that you would, or even if you have like one era of a wrestler that you liked and another era of a wrestler that you would have liked to have, seen together, that's also, I think, valid.
If you could have taken main event Bret Hart and had him go against main event heel Randy Savage, both in their prime.
Oh, dude.
I think
Yes.
they may have wrestled like twice in history, but it wasn't like a big deal back then. But if you could make like them headline a WrestleMania with their prime characters, think of how sick that would be.
So sick.
That would be fucking rad, actually. That's a really good answer. Well, and so, kind of going with that, like, what is the silliest gimmick that you have seen a wrestler try to attempt to do?
Silliest gimmick. I mean, there was a meme going around recently. Bastion Booger, like
Yes.
Oh,
that
was
era in general was,
Oh,
I mean, it's a dark era.
man.
Mantar.
Yeah. That was the point that I was just like, no, I guess
Yep.
I'm a wrestling.
Ditto, ditto. That was when I think that was around the time that I got into music
Oh,
instead of
I gotta
wrestling.
focus this way.
1993 era.
Yeah, yeah. Nirvana, I think Nirvana's cooler than this shit. So
Fuck yes, dude.
then you come back for the Attitude Era.
Hell yeah. Well, okay, so what would be the best gimmick that you have seen? The best thing that you would, or that you've seen in general?
It's kind of, I mean, because gimmicks have changed, obviously, right? Now they're more like it's an attitude as opposed to like everyone is going by some form of name, and it's more or less they're trying to act like a caricature of something within them.
Yeah.
Um, the kind of classic gimmicks, I feel are something a little different than that, but
Hmm.
I don't know.
Or one that like maybe one that sticks in your mind the most as being like, huh, okay, this is creative.
How can you not go with Stone Cold?
Damn
We
it. Bro,
absolutely
I literally read your mind.
Because, like, just even down to the way that gimmick started and that promo he cut at the King of the Ring, like, that's gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so what do you think about Cat Dad Steve Austin?
It's pretty cute. It's pretty cute.
It
I like I like that through social media, a lot of these guys have been able to endear fans to them even more, and it spins off into them getting to do things that make them money and keep them
got
busy.
Macho and Macho over here.
That's obviously one of the sad stories about a lot of wrestlers is when they're no longer marketable, they kind of spiral and abuse drugs and then inevitably die young, which I mean, that's not cool.
No,
No, not at all.
definitely
Not at all.
not.
Well, and
Difference.
frankly, there's no better, as many have said, there's no better time to be a wrestling fan than right now because the
Yeah.
sheer quantity of content that is readily available for consumption is, I mean, you can waste all day, every day just watching clips from the
Yeah.
past, and it still rules.
It still does. Like there are plenty of times where he's sent me reels of matches, from 10 to 15 years ago. I'm like, holy shit, that looked hella cool, or that didn't age so well, or and we
Yeah.
just kind of get into rabbit holes a lot of the time.
So, do you know about the movies, like Talk to Me and Bring Her Back?
I don't know. No.
Uh, so there's these
They're
guys,
horror
there's
movies.
New Zealand, like fucking movie directors, and one of the guys is a wrestler,
Okay.
and he does like death match stuff. It's crazy.
Okay, wait. Which movie?
uh,
Bring Her Back and Talk to Me.
uh, Raka Raka,
Yeah, I think
the name.
yes. Again, names are really bad for
Raka
me.
Raka? So are you talking Talk to Me like the 2022 movie or
Yeah.
Yes.
and someone in that?
And now it's
One of the
with the
directors. They're
directors.
brothers, right?
Okay.
Yeah, they're brothers.
Who are the directors? Is that one dude director Danny and Michael Philippou?
Michael is the one that's the wrestler.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, it's very interesting, especially since you just mentioned like it's a really good time to be a wrestling fan, to people who I would not think would be anywhere near wrestling. Like when we watched Talk to Me, I think it wasn't long after we watched that, we had
Yeah.
seen a fucking clip of him doing some shit, and I'm like, okay, I would have never pegged that guy as being associated with wrestling at all. So it's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Or
I really
that dude who was in Cobra Kai and
Oh,
uh,
are you talking about Paul Walter Hauser?
is that his name?
Yeah,
We both know
the
who
big guy.
who plays
Yeah,
like insane goofball like every
yeah,
movie he's in, but yeah, he's a promoter and a wrestler, and yeah, he's been
yeah.
doing
He's in AEW too. So
maniacs.
yeah.
Has there been any wrestling films or films with wrestlers that you have fully enjoyed and loved?
I mean, The Wrestler's a good movie.
Mm,
Yeah, we talked to Stavros about that the other night.
What are some classics like what is it? Beyond the Mat, was it?
Yeah, yeah.
That was kind of a
Just
documentary-ish
watching Nick
from
Foley's
back in the day.
family cry is just like,
Yeah.
oh god damn.
Oof. Yeah, even just all those like the Dark Side of the Ring and Tales from the Territories, all that stuff. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Are you more into kind of the non-fictiony side of media than in the fictiony side of media, like in terms of films and TV shows? Like we
With wrestling, like the truth is far better than any storyline. And
That's right.
I love I love the dirtbag carny shit I
yes.
mean it still kind of exists, but it is like obviously pro wrestling's roots is in carny shit, and that
Yeah.
is we've been talking about it for years that like the real documentary on Vince McMahon is so much more fucked up than what
Oh
everyone knows
no,
about.
dude, it's fucking gross. Like,
And I wish that would one day become a proper doc. It never will, but yeah, that whole world is truly fascinating, and the art form itself is a wonderful and entertaining thing.
I know that it is definitely getting, late for you, and we don't want to keep you forever. With Ken Mode putting out something a couple years ago, the album a couple years ago, what kind of shameless plugs that you guys have going on, both, Ken Mode itself and you in particular?
Oh, we got no plugs whatsoever. Check out
Just
the old shit because we're doing nothing right now. And
those
by
last two
nothing,
albums are fucking amazing, though. By the
yeah,
way.
I gotta go home today and continue toiling away at trying to make whatever's next and make it something that matters. There needs to be a record before we do anything again. So people probably won't hear anything from us until 2027.
Okay.
Okay.
I definitely look forward to that.
Yeah.
Like, not gonna lie.
Totally.
And
That's
I
that's
hope I can get into a situation. This was one thing that was grinding my gears on the last tour cycle, is
Mhm.
the timing of shows has shifted enough to the point where I don't get to eat things I want to eat on tour anymore, and I don't like it.
Oh no. Why is that, if you don't mind me asking? I don't want to assume.
I think the load-in times are too early,
Mm,
and basically I don't have the freedom to get to a lot of the restaurants in that pocket of space between sound check and when the show starts. So I end
Yeah.
up getting squeezed and have to eat under more confined
Duress.
circumstances. And I
yeah.
don't like that. The most fun part about tour for me has always been driving into town, finding a restaurant that's fucking awesome, and
Yeah.
nobody's there because it just opened,
Hmm.
eating and then going to load
Going.
in. So it's
Ah.
ruining this for me because I don't even like playing shows. I just like eating.
Hell yeah. What's been the most awesome find that you have ever in terms of food that you've ever had on tour?
I mean, there's a lot that have stuck out. I'll never forget the first time having tacos that like really fucked me up at South by Southwest in
Oh no.
2011. They were just so delicious.
Yeah.
The first time I ever had barbecue that was like, oh my God.
Yes, dude.
Because we like bar Southern barbecue is everywhere, but
Quote
a
unquote.
lot of it fucking sucks. As a Canadian, we're like, it isn't really done well up here, and people always tell you how great it is, and all you've ever tried is like, it was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
And then when you get taken to like, what was it, Blacks in some little
Oh,
town
Black and
outside of
Austin?
Austin's, yeah,
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
you get something like that, and you're like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like
even
my stomach is just filled with all barbecues.
Yeah.
right.
That's another thing that like aging fucking sucks because like
Yeah.
I can't eat like I used to eat.
You can't just pound Taco Bell, go out and do what you need to do, and you'll be fine, you know?
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like eating an ungodly amount of meat and still being
Oh
able to
God.
play a show. Like that we humor doing barbecue once a tour now, but like 10 years ago, it'd be like every chance I can get that we can hit a
Yeah.
notable spot, let's go for it. But
Yeah.
now like it'll ruin my week. Yeah, your body doesn't work right. You can't drink beer anymore. You can't eat the way you wanted to anymore.
Can't
Sugar
drink
gives me
Molson
headaches.
3.0? What?
Ugh. Ugh.
Well, Jesse, fucking thank you for taking time out of your fucking week. Like, we really appreciate you coming out and kicking it with us.
Fucking A, thanks for having me. And it was
Yes.
nice to chat wrestling.
Hey everyone, this is Carissa. I just wanted to stop in and say thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. You know, everyone starts out small, and every like and subscribe definitely helps to get the channel out to others. We appreciate every single one of you nerds as we nerd out with other nerds. So from Chris and I, a tremendously huge thank you. We have a ton of great stuff coming your way. So do a frog splash from the top rope, grab your battle vest, headbang to that sick guitar riff, and stick around to see who might be making their way to the ring next.